All right, I'll start off by saying this. It's hard to win football games. Youngstown was prepared like we thought they would be, in-house. That's a well-coached football team, a little bigger than I thought actually coming into it. Defensively, they played great. I thought they had a good plan to try to neutralize Bryce early with some cloud coverage, did some different things. They're a really good football team. They got to keep fighting and keep playing. I wish him the best to get in the playoffs. I think that's a team that could win a game or two. I really believe that. That quarterback is as good a football player as we faced this year. He's obviously in the top 2 or 3 guys in the conference. He's gritty. He's tough. Single-handedly beat some pressures with his feet. And then I thought he was, pretty good in the scramble drill. And we lost contain a couple times, and we got to get that addressed because any mobile quarterback's going to beat you on that. I'm disappointed there. I think we've got to tackle better. And then special teams, there were some splash plays that we've been encouraging the guys. It was one of the single best efforts I've ever seen on a kick return because I don't know if we blocked anybody, so we got to look at that. And then the kick coverage needs to be better, and that played a role today. We put them on a short field twice. But all in all, we say it all the time, and I don't know if it necessarily resonates with the outside world, which doesn't matter. But these kids need to have a good time tonight. They need to take care of each other because then we're back to work for another really good road test. With that, let's open up for questions.
Did Brungardt do anything that surprised you? Was this exactly what you thought he's capable of today?
No, I was not surprised one bit. He had 300 or 525 yards in a game. He just, no. And I thought maybe I didn't know how the matchup would go, like the rush. Their O-line is big and did a good job setting us, making us go through them. We were trying like heck to keep them in there, and we got caught on a couple calls where our contained looper, at end, could have done a better job. They did a really good job, with the jet game, getting that thing handed off and had us kind of reeling a little bit. But the bottom line is, in a game like that, facing an offense like that, I think the takeaway at the end and the stop, is what you're asking for. And then, 38 points as a football team, most times with the way we're playing defense should be enough. But no, he was impressive, and I just had a moment out there with him. It's important. He's a strong kid, good football player.
Matchup. We've seen a lot of football, FBS, FCS. Haven't described those two quarterbacks and the caliber of play today.
It's good. That's a good question. That head-to-head battle. I'm just thinking Steve Walker doesn't get talked about enough, but when Rhett Bomar was in here, I think he went for 400 yards that night, Sam Houston State, and I remember standing by him. That was an NFL talent arm and unbelievable athlete. That's as good a matchup, I guess, head-to-head as I can remember. In my time away, we never were on the other side of that. I can't remember if Carson or Easton would have been through a matchup like pretty electric. And what's interesting is, we talked a lot about his stature, his height, but that's a strong, well-put-together athlete. And I do know he probably could play some Sam Backer for some people. He's pretty good.
Those two quarterbacks match up in the FBS level, too?
Oh, yeah, they're both talented enough to be starters for many people. I would think that, they're good players, they're winners too. And they produce and they're good leaders. People follow them. There's a reason I know our 3rd and 4 call didn't go quite as planned, but, there's a reason why you put it in his hands and you take your shot that way and make sure you burn the clock up. My gut instinct was to put it up to Bryce. And if we would have done that, it would have been 88 and out the gate. But I thought that quarterback was good enough that we didn't want to give him the ball with 1:54 left either.
Special teams were huge today. Tim, the kid dropped the kickoff. You guys recovered Jackson's touchdown. They had a couple of big returns and just kind of the hidden stuff you always talk about.
Yeah, hidden yardage for sure. Well, yeah, when they turn into multipliers, But I thought Aaron Bickerton's punt down to the 4, I can't remember what happened on that series, but just to make them go the long, hard way, that was a big play. Still, it's interesting. On our kick coverage, that was the first time I can remember losing leverage on the same return at us. We usually get things corrected pretty quick, so we got to do a better job there. I thought special teams played a big role. That kid dropping the ball, unfortunately for him, he's going to have to work through that, and that was a game-changing play. It really was. And I thought that was going to be a bigger differential at half with the plays ran for us versus Youngstown State because we were on a short field twice. But they were big, Mike. That was huge.
How good was it to see Duttenhefer out there again today?
Well, I sent him a trick question yesterday. I said, Cody, just send him. Can Coach Polasek send you as a captain? Because he doesn't want to send anybody that's a part-timer as a captain out there. We've got 6 options there. And when he replied, hell yeah, send me, kind of thing, I knew we were in good shape. He had a really good practice Thursday, and I think that's huge for us moving forward, that he got comfortable. And then plus, it provided us to do the right thing with Logan Larson, was battling a bursitis, in his knee, so he's got to get that swelling out of there. It was good. Duty's an inspiring guy for our whole football team. He's an example for our whole student body as far as how to go about handling your business, and he's going to be real successful down the road as well.
First time you got pushed to the final minute of
Yeah.
the game this season. Your thoughts on that?
I enjoy it. It's fun. I mean, we had to play the absolute full 60 minutes there. We're always going to, it's safe to say that we're probably harder on the chase of perfection than anybody. I just still like to see a few things to improve, but that's what's nice about this. Okay, if there was any question, which there wasn't from my standpoint of do we have these players' attention, there's going to be plenty of things that we can compete, improve, and be tough within.
What were just kind of your thoughts on the tailback run game? I mean,
I got to look at it. I don't think we drove the number up to where I ultimately wanted to once we had an 11, 12-point lead when we were doing that thing, a 2-score lead. But I thought Barika today had some magic to him. I thought he carved out some yards on his own. And again, the run game inside the 10 and 12 has been pretty darn good for us. I mean, that's even where that's impacting Cole's touchdown passes or whatever, but who cares? I think the running backs played well today. We've got to get our eyes on some blocking at the point of attack where we got to get more guys squared up for sure.
Your success on third down all season long, can you describe that and how impressive that is to you to see what you
Yeah,
did today?
It's interesting because we're in kind of a deep dive, like the 2 years that we've been spending here, and our methodology with that. We're not running 8,000 new plays. We're kind of sticking to think players, not plays. Let's make sure we give them a chance to be successful. I think we're protecting pretty good because there was some 5-man up stuff today, and they were spying Cole. That's actually why they had him hemmed in pretty good. I think they did a good job with some coverage adjustments, but then there wasn't those running lanes because they were spying him. But third down, I like what Dan is doing. I like what the staff is doing as far as building a plan, giving our players a chance. And we've got some things in our back pocket for counter punches off of all these repetitions that we have of the things we're doing. And I would have tested to that. And then Cole being a dual threat. Make no mistake about it, guys. That helps you on third down tremendously.
Any injury update? I know Duffy left the game. Can you tell us?
I won't comment on that until I get some more information. I don't know even what happened really. Trish said he's getting checked for a couple things. I don't know if it was upper body. And so we'll get a good report on that tomorrow. The doc said he's going to come in and see him and that kind of thing. Larson should be pretty healthy come Tuesday, it would be my guess. Did we lose anybody else? Yeah, it's been a good run now, a good stretch of real physical football. I think we're going to have to be mindful of going out there and fighting like crazy on Tuesday, but we're going to have to I want to take a group of guys on that bus that are fresh and ready to play a football game in front of a tough environment, and we're looking forward to that.
This is what you anticipate with November football today?
Well, it's interesting. I did get a quick update on the games, but I can't reiterate how tough it is to win college football games and for young people to have the mentality that we have. Okay, the mark of this 2025 senior and the leadership group is they've never not shown up. That's hard. And I'm talking about energy and spirit, the intent when they walk around the building in the morning when we get them over here at 8 o'clock. That's the thing I'm most excited about with this program is it's deep rooted. The BFPA, the guys that got this thing started in '65 and all that, it's in our DNA, and our guys aren't disrespecting that. They take that very serious. And so, we haven't faltered yet, and to win by 1 point the rest of the way is obviously the goal, and then try to position yourself. I think it's important that we have home field advantage, but it's exciting. November is cool. Yep, for sure.
Battle 4 quarters. What was it like facing these guys and taking it to the distance here?
yeah, it's a really good football team. I respect what they do, and they have some athletes, and so props to them. It was an exciting game, but yeah, hard fought, and I think sometimes you need some of those, coming off a pretty big win last week. You know, getting punched in the mouth is kind of good for you. So, yeah, it was fun. It was gritty. It was hard fought for sure.
Jaxon, how did it feel to get back on the field?
I'm assuming you mean me. Got 2 Jacksons here.
Oh.
Honestly, like, it's wild to think that 2 weeks ago I was sitting in the back of a stretcher in the back of an ambulance. And, you know, you're sitting there and you have no idea what the next 30 minutes will bring, what the next hour will bring. Honestly think just the past 2 weeks it's given me a lot of perspective. You know, it's my last year. I got life ahead of me. It puts things into perspective of like what have you maybe taken for granted? What have you maybe not thought about enough? What have you not been thankful for enough? Have you told people enough that you love them? Have you told your brothers enough that you love them? Breaking down the game today as we got done with warm up, the first thing I said was I love you all. I think just what that does, kind of almost tearing up thinking about it. I'm super blessed to be able to be out there and to be able to compete with my brothers. I mean, I'm praising God that I healed as fast as I did, and I'm able to go out there and compete.
Any effects at all physically left over?
I'm still dealing with a little bit of soreness and some range of motion issues. When you have whiplash and a stinger and you lose feeling in your arm, it's probably never gonna be the same again. I think honestly, just like kind of like I alluded to, is there's a lot more mental to it. Honestly, you never want to be that guy that never gets up on the field and then, you know, everything happened now as it happened, and you never want to see anyone. You don't want to be that guy either on that stretcher. So I think there's probably a little bit more mental impacts that'll probably live for the rest of my life, and it just gives me that perspective of how can I tell these guys that I love them every day. What am I taking for granted? How can I not take things for granted and live every day and just be grateful for it?
Is there any question about coming back and playing after going through what you went through?
I think early on, there was, just with how much pain I was dealing with. There was a lot of nerve damage, I believe. Nothing got severed, which was a blessing in and of itself to still be able to move my arm, because I lost feeling in it for like 3 seconds. So it was tough to honestly, all I had to do was sit there, listen to my doctors, listen to Trish, and from there it was, let's talk with my coaches, let's talk with my wife, talk with my family, just to sit there and just like, hey, I'm going to listen to what the docs say, I'm going to listen to what Trish says. If it takes me maybe a month to get back, so be it. If I don't come back, it was out of my hands. But obviously I got to play today, and man, I'm so thankful for it.
Jaxon, how did it feel to finally house the kick today?
It felt really good. You know, we've had a lot of times during the season that we've been, you know, this close. You know, one guy away. You know, we have 8 out of 11, 9 out of 11, 10 out of 11 guys doing their job. You know, 11 out of 11, everyone firing all cylinders, and you got the job done.
Did you think the kid had you? I mean, I know you had you pretty good couple hands in it, didn't you?
I
First
don't-
kid to try to tackle you?
I don't even know what happened, to be honest. I just turned around and he was.
You were done, and all of a sudden you came out of it. You were going down the side.
Yeah, I mean, I turned around, he wasn't there anymore, and everyone else kind of just stopped because I think they thought I went out of bounds. And I got a little boost from a guy behind me, you know, and one-on-one with the kicker again. So, yeah, that was fun.
Jaxon, facing Bo Brungard, what was that like?
You know, he's a very capable quarterback, and it's very obvious that it's a very capable offense overall. He's the heart of that offense as well. I mean, when he is as good as he is with how mobile he can be in the pass game, it's hard to keep him contained, just with how much they actually want to run him because of how quick he can be and how, he just laterally, I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback move as quick as he has in the past few years. But I mean, everything is around him. I think obviously that plan for them was to use him. I mean, the amount of draws that they use, a little bit of quick passes out to their wide receivers, and I mean, they had enough skill around him. It's a very scary offense, and I don't think that we really performed to the best that we had based on our game plan that we had. I think we were really comfortable with our game plan going in, but there was. I think you're going to look back on the film. There's quite a few missed tackles. There were some MAs here and there, and we just had to finish. And again, we came out with the win, and that's a big plus. But when you face a guy like that, I mean, you can't make a whole lot of mistakes because he'll make you look silly.
You're a fan of these two quarterbacks, your guy and that guy. Must have been pretty fun.
Yeah, I mean, it is. And you look at, like, you compare him to Cole Payton sitting here, and it's like it's a night and day difference of size and strength and just how it is. But, I mean, when you have him running downhill, you don't want to get in front of him. When you have Brungard running downhill, you think, oh, I could probably take him on. But then it's when you're having him run to the sideline, it's like, oh, I can maybe catch him. And then you have Brungard running to the sideline, it's like you take one bad angle and he's gone. I think you saw that a couple of times today. It's like, I know I'm not fast enough to catch the kid. So he's a very capable quarterback, and I think it was a very cool competition between these two today to see who would come out on top.
They did a pretty good job, Cole, of kind of bottling up a little bit today, right? And they Polasek, they put a spy on you to kind of keep you in check, and talk about that a little.
Yeah, they did a good job, rushing three and just rushing three guys and dropping eight and just kind of like having that stand-up D on number 3 for them, kind of spy me and they had a good plan going into it. There's some plays I wish I had back. We gotta keep our defense off the field, especially with how explosive their offense is. And so I think we could have came out a little hotter on that first drive. And they had a good plan for us. But we found a way and kept scratching and clawing and finished.
What's the key to all the third down conversions? You guys had a bunch of them in today, and then a lot of them weren't easy. The 3rd and 18 comes to mind, and there's also a lot of 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 6s. What's the key to converting that?
I think we make a big emphasis on it every week. We've got our third down goals. 3rd and extra, 3rd and long, 3rd and medium, 3rd and short. And obviously we want to stay out of 3rd and longs and 3rd and extra longs, but we have our goals that we try to get every week, and we just make a huge emphasis on it, and we're working, pass under pressure at practice, the ones versus the ones, and so we're getting good competition, and putting our coaches are doing a good job putting us in those situations, and so it's just, I think situational football is huge, and so yeah, just trying to capitalize on those.
You're a 5th-year guy and a captain. What was it like having him back?
It was huge. I remember, before the game, well, I guess earlier in this week, to see Duty just with pads on was really awesome, and a little bit shocking, with what he went through. But, shout out to Trish and our athletic training staff and the medical staff and doctors and Duty's toughness. I mean, he's a captain on this team for a reason, and I remember before the game just telling him how happy I was for him and that I loved him, and so glad he's got to suit it up with us. So.